It's finally time! MinMaxer's Dream has reached the open alpha testing stage. I've made it available for anyone willing to help me out find all the bugs. But there are some details you should be aware of, so keep watching. Firstly, this iteration is for testing only. I have severely limited the available weapons, and this is not meant for actual calculations yet. The goal here is to squash any bugs that have gone past my own and closed alpha testing stages. And if you're wondering, the closed alpha was held in my Discord server, and if you don't want to miss something like that in the future, the Discord link is in the description. If you want to participate in the open alpha, here's what you do. First, you press the like button down there, then you press subscribe, and at last, share it with a friend if you have any. After all those steps, you download the program from the link in the description. Bet you were expecting there to be a complex way of getting the link, but I don't have time to waste on such things with my limited lifespan, so I'll just trust in the fact that you want this program to succeed like I do. Inside the Google Drive link, there are two folders, one for 32-bit operating system and another for 64-bit. And yes, these are for Windows only. Once downloaded, you can run the program via this file called MinMaxer's Dream. If you do find a bug, for example, if you found out that corrosive procs are not lasting as long as they should, or that you're getting damage numbers that are more than 3% different from the in-game number, up to 3% is the error rate due to accuracy differences, or maybe if you encountered a replicable crash, then the first thing you do should be to check if this is a known issue or not. There is a public Trello board link in the description where you can see all the known issues or suggested features. If it wasn't there, then just go ahead and drop it in the comment section with #bug at the very start, like so. Or alternatively, there is an open alpha report text chat in my Discord server, which you can use as well. Or you could do both. I sure won't stop you. If you manage to find a new bug, then you have secured yourself a spot in the program's credits. I will use your name in YouTube or Discord, but if you prefer a different name, just put it in your message and I'll use that instead, as long as it is an acceptable name. I do have to say though, if you have any other suggestions for the program, feel free to drop them in the comments with #suggestion. Though, I won't promise anything. Now let me give you a tour of the program and explain a few things to prevent confusion. But watching this section is not essential, as any problems caused by confusing design are also valuable information to help make the program more streamlined and accessible. But I will include it just in case you need something explained to you. When you first open the program, you'll be greeted by this license screen. Make sure to read it carefully. Once accepted, we have the main menu. After that, we have the weapon select screen. Here you can select a weapon to test, and you can see the selected weapon's stats. Aside from selecting the weapon, you can also decide which fire modes you actually want to test. By default, only the first fire mode is selected, and since some fire modes have multiple damage sources, I have separated them by using these lines to show the parent-child relations. If a weapon has bonus damage like Tenet Arcaplasmor, then you can choose the bonus type and bonus amount by using this drop-down and input field. Next up, we have the test variables panel. Here you can decide what you want to test against, what level, what test type, and so on. Let me give you a bit of an explanation on each one. Timescale changes how fast the time passes in the program. If it is 1, it goes in real time. If you set it to 100, every second becomes 100 seconds in the program. Basically, this makes the program calculate faster. But do notice that the higher you set it, the more resources the program will need. I would usually not recommend anything past 250, but you have the option just in case. Headshot is simple, either you go for headshot or body shots. Test type decides if your weapon's AoE stats are put in consideration or not, and it also changes the enemy composition and size for each test group, with the exception of a custom test. Test group gives you the option to test against all 3 factions via test all or one of them. As said, the enemy composition and the number of enemies changes depending on the test type, and this option is disabled when going for a custom test, for obvious reasons. Repeat count is the number of times the test is repeated. The higher you set this to, the more accurate your test results will be. I would usually say stick to a number above 25 if you want good results, and maybe as high as 100 if you really want to be accurate. Though setting this to a higher number also means waiting longer, so keep that in mind. Damage display controls whether you see the damage numbers or not. It is only usable in low repeat count and low timescale tests. This is how you can check if the damage numbers are within the 3% margin or not, and if the procs and other factors like complex mods are doing their job right. Next up, we have custom test, which when enabled allows you to choose what enemy to test against. However, I have to tell you that testing against a single enemy is not a good way to see a weapon's performance. But the option is there if you need it for something other than overall performance tests, for example for checking if a MOA's headshot multiplier is set up correctly. Next up, we have the target enemy and enemy count, which control what enemy you're testing against and how many there is in a single test. You can filter the units and or use this drop down. Next up is targeting delay. This is how much time it takes for the weapon to switch targets. This is an incredibly useful stat because with this the tests are no longer on paper tests and are actually realistic. This was developed because actual players are not aimbots, and that is a very important point to remember when making builds. For proper tests, keep this at 0.5 seconds. Next up is starting combo, which only affects sniper weapons as of now. This is the number we will reset sniper weapons combo to after every single test group. After this, we have the modding panel. Here you can equip any mod and see your weapon's current stats. You can equip a mod by left click and unequip with right click, or you can drag and drop if you feel like it or want to swap mods. At the bottom, we have the casual name switch, which allows you to use the proper in-game mod names or stick to the casual like me. Next to that, we have the save build button, which lets you save builds for each weapon, and after that is the load build button, which you can use to load any saved builds. Do notice that builds are weapon specific. Also, these builds are saved on your device, so they will be around the next time you load the program. You can also delete existing builds by right-clicking on them. Next up is the actual test screen. If you have the damage display enabled, you will see damage numbers and other useful information, and if you have it off, well, then you just have to wait. Something that you should remember is that if damage display is active, then when the test is finished, you have to manually press next because it will not go to results automatically for obvious reasons. You can also use this button to snap the slider to the bottom, and you can use this one to stop or resume the test. Once you are in the results page, you can see the sum, which is basically the addition of the average kill times of the test groups. You can basically consider it the kill time of your build. The lower, the better. Then we have minimum sum, which is the minimum possible sum with your current targeting delay. Here we have the currently equipped mods, and in this chart we have more details regarding the results. Consistency score is especially important as you wouldn't want this score to be too low. Then we have the old results button. You can use it to see previous test results, and you can delete a saved result by right-clicking on it, or press the trash icon to delete all of them. However, do notice that these results are not saved to your device, so they will be poof gone the next time you load the program. And that's basically it. Make sure to share this video. Now it is time for me to fix the bugs, assuming you guys found any, that is. Well then, I'll see you guys next time, and bye bye!